Welcome to Thursday. It is the 29th day of June, 2023. Your Day with a Podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Well, folks, we are going to be heading towards some cooler temperatures, and thunderstorm activity will be pretty commonplace. It's going to get a little bit west of the divide today. A little bit more moisture as the trough out of the Pacific Northwest begins to push a little bit more to the east. Unfortunately, this also means a severe weather risk. Some of you out there, especially out on the eastern plains of Wyoming, parts of Nebraska, extreme northeast Colorado last night, and late yesterday afternoon and evening saw some hail and heavy rain with some of those thunderstorms. That risk will be there again today, and also probably to some extent on Friday. Also, cooler temperatures will be noted. After some warmer weather here lately, temperatures are going to back off, be a bit below average for the last 2 days of this month of June. Then we'll have less thunderstorm activity on Saturday because the Pacific trough will move through and a brief period of drier air will come in behind it. However, although temperatures rebound as we get into Sunday, Monday, and the 4th of July Tuesday, the 4th of July weekend, that 4-day period, Sunday through Tuesday, we'll get back into afternoon and evening thunderstorms, and you're going to need to plan on that as you plan your 4th of July activities, and we'll kind of go into detail going forward. Some great shots. This was taken last week. Thanks, Zachary. Near south of Gillette there. A beautiful shot. No big bad thunderstorm cloud in that photo, but here we go. Yesterday, we saw a lot of thunderstorms develop along and east of the Laramie Range across parts of eastern Wyoming, and that became a breeding ground for quite a bit of severe weather along and east of the Laramie Range Mountains. And those thunderstorms made their way on into Lusk, nearly 1.5 inches of rain, and unfortunately some very large damaging hail with that thunderstorm in the Lusk area as well. This morning's satellite photo, you can see that big blob right there over Nebraska and northern Kansas. Also some thunderstorm activity over Illinois this morning. Like what we showed you yesterday, thunderstorms start late in the afternoon and evening along the east slopes of the Rockies, then making their way out into the plains, and they end up becoming good rain producers. So there you go. This area of rain and thunderstorm activity coalescing into a mesoscale convective complex will head east-southeast across eastern Nebraska into Missouri, parts of southwestern Iowa here during the morning hours. And then we're just going to basically see the same thing happen again. Why? Well, because it's the same pattern. Hot weather in the southern plains, the low pressure now beginning to move east finally. It is this morning in western areas of Utah and will be coming through over the next 24 to 36 hours. This is why it's going to cool off a bit, and this is why it's going to initiate quite a bit of shower and thunderstorm activity. What I want to do is kind of step you through actually the next 24 hours, because these thunderstorms are going to start today off to a fairly early start, and then they're going to continue into the night, and then they're going to continue into the morning hours. So this is by 6 p.m. tonight. So the 6-hour period of noon to 6 p.m. is where you're seeing these thunderstorms possibly developing. You can see getting into western Wyoming, southwestern Wyoming, the Wasatch Front of Utah, and extreme northwest Colorado today, while they're also going to develop east of the divide. Now, this is by what happens between noon and 6 p.m. Between 6 p.m. and midnight, we see a lot of thunderstorm activity over central western Nebraska, northeast Colorado, southeastern Wyoming, and this is between midnight and tomorrow morning. Another area of thunderstorms will go across northeast Colorado, southern Nebraska, northern Kansas area, back into the Corn Belt, and then continuing up here. So this is going to be kind of a period of time where thunderstorms are going to have the ability to keep forming over about an 18 to 24-hour period. And this is where the severe weather threat is today. You can see the yellow backing up into southeastern Wyoming, into northern Colorado, then eastward into the Corn Belt. And then this area of severe weather will slowly slide a little bit more south and east during the day tomorrow as the trough moves. And there you can see that. So this is today, this is tomorrow. And what will happen is drier air will eventually work its way in to minimize that threat for thunderstorms by the weekend. But this is for Friday. So for Friday afternoon and evening, another active period of showers and thunderstorms from the east slopes of the Canadian Rockies all the way down into Mexico. And speaking of Mexico, we'll talk about this more tomorrow. Seeing signs of the summer monsoon finally kicking into gear there. And this moisture flow will end up playing a role as we get into the month of July. So this is Friday, and temperatures on Friday along and east of the divide, but in an area right here from that trough, pretty cool, farther than well below average. There'll be a lot of areas here on Friday not even getting out of the 60s. Now this is by Saturday morning, so you can see the trough has moved all the way into Nebraska and headed east. That will allow a brief period of drier air to come in from the northwest, and that's going to minimize the thunderstorm coverage on Saturday, push it more down into Texas, keeping it into the Midwest here. We're going to have more showers and thunderstorms up here, but not as much thunderstorm activity here where it's been very active. But up into Yellowstone, up into southwest areas of Montana, there's going to be enough residual moisture to form afternoon and evening thunderstorms. So that's Saturday. This is Sunday. What's going to happen between Saturday and Sunday is what we call return flow. As this trough heads into the Midwest here, we're going to see a southerly wind flow at the surface return and start to draw moisture back up along and near the divide. And so Sunday, thunderstorms east of the divide, they begin to pick up again. This is Monday. They come more widespread, and this is for the 4th of July, Tuesday. So it goes without saying, this region, you need to be prepared for this upcoming holiday weekend for thunderstorm activity to be common. Not so many thunderstorms Saturday, but they do return Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, so plan ahead, take advantage of the mornings, and then you can see there by the 4th of July, thunderstorm activity getting closer to Arizona, and it's already into New Mexico. For the month of June so far, the month of June, for some western states, will signal the 6th month in a row of below average temperatures. This is the temperature anomaly for the month of June so far. So California, the Great Basin states, a lot of the Central Rockies, temperatures for the month of June have been below average. And many areas, as I said, this has been happening since January 1 and even going back into December. What's really interesting, this came out yesterday. I haven't heard this in the news. This is really newsworthy. So Las Vegas set a heat record yesterday. Now, not the heat record you would expect for Las Vegas. Las Vegas is not at 100 degrees for 291 straight days. That breaks the old record set back in the 1964-1965 year. Now, their records don't go back that far, but they do go back to 1937. So for nearly 3/4 of a year here, Las Vegas has not hit 100 degrees. That is actually quite remarkable. Have yourself a very good Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.